Boosie.
We got a batch of 7 3-year-olds taking on the older brigade, haven't we?
The night before, I was watching Robbie Williams on stage.
Who's on an all-you-can-eat inclusive buffet somewhere in the Mediterranean.
I got much fatter, much quicker than Martin did.
You try go shopping for a fat midget.
You're not English, you're Scouse. Hiya and welcome to the Punters Guide from Betfred, where this Saturday on ITV4, 12 live races, Newmarket, Ascot, York. I'm Joel in for Matt this week, who's on an all-you-can-eat inclusive buffet somewhere in the Mediterranean. I'm joined by, I'm not going to say it, Derby winning jockey, I've said it, Derby winning jockey Martin Dwyer is here. Martin, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, mate. Enjoying this nice weather.
Yeah. Success at Newmarket. I just looked up this morning and it's got to be in everyone's favourite top 10 horses. Persian Punch, 5 wins at Newmarket.
Yeah, he was a legend of a horse, wasn't he? He had his own fan club. It was a pleasure to ride him. I wouldn't be fit enough to ride him these days, that's for sure.
Well, to be fair, I watched back this morning the win in the Jockey Club Cup in 2003. You got the Ride of the Year for that year. Now it would be a 28-day ban.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, the whip rules were different then. He always responded for it, and he was lazy, but he kept going. But a lot of jockeys had a go on him. I mean, Jason, you must have had a go on.
No. And I was going to jump in there. I saw Elsie down the town the other day, but I think, Martin, he was the first horse that I can remember anyway who did a lap of the parade ring, or the parade ring itself afterwards, and got a round of applause. I think he was the one who sort of started that off.
Yeah, do you know what? I won't lie to you. I rode him in the Goodwood Cup, and the night before I was watching Robbie Williams on stage giving it socks. You know, when Robbie would just go up and I was like, I'm going to do that tomorrow if he wins, because not for me, for the horse. And when he won the Goodwood Cup, I took him down in front of the stands. It was like a Mexican wave, all the people rushing down to see him, and great scene. So he was loved by the public.
Yeah,
I was just waiting for the normal dad joke coming out there when Robbie Williams started. I thought, oh, where is this going?
Oh, he was an angel, wasn't he? Right. Jason Weaver is here as well, of course, known for Mr. Bailey's at Newmarket, 2,000 guineas. And when did you retire, Jace? Because
a long time ago. I got much fatter, much quicker than Martin did, but his was due to injury, obviously, with that horrific accident that he had on the Galaxy. It's a long time ago. He was brilliant. He was a rocket. That was on the Rolling Mile, and of course we're on the July course this week. It was honestly rammed there yesterday. I mean, it was fantastic. It's Ladies' Day. They're always a big event anyway, but it was heaving, and the town last night was it was absolutely pumping.
Did you go out for a few last night, Jason? You were in bed looking at the 12 live races for ITV?
Well, last night I knew that I'd be here this morning, so we better get plenty of winners. There's a few decent prices along the way for Saturday, hopefully anyway.
Right, we'll try and smash through it in 15-20 minutes. 12 live races, like we say. If you've got an out for them, let's move on. Or they're too complicated, or you just think Aidan O'Brien wins, we'll move on. We start off, which everybody wants, is the Maiden Fillies, 7 furlongs, Newmarket, 140. Top of the market. Hafner is now gone favourite for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore. And Al Wathbar costs just short of €1 million, a yearling for Godolphin and Charlie, Wotton Bassett filly. Right, Martin, what are you thinking?
I think Hafner wins. He's got that run under his belt. Charlie had an odds-on shot beating first time out yesterday. But Hafner, for me, he's well bred and ran a good second to Abraham Lincoln over the 6 at the Curragh last time, staying on. So I think the step up to 7 will suit, and I think Hafner will be the first favourite to win.
Jason?
Yeah. Look, again, I'll row in with that. It's that sort of race that the big outfits, Aidan and Charlie, like to flex their muscles, don't they? You know, Charlie won this a couple of years ago with Desert Flower. So, 1,000 guineas winner. And with Hafner, he's a fascinating. The dam's a half-sister to Order of St. George. So stepping up in trip is going to suit. He was really colty in the paddock prior to his debut.
Yeah, and I think there's lots of bets going on this morning. Abraham Lincoln and a Hafner. So you put the first one on, it wins. You go out for a few pints in the sunshine, see what happens in the second. Right, 2:15. The trusttrader.com. If you listen to TalkSport, you'll get that. It's the Phillies handicap, 7 furlongs. What are we thinking here? I want to go in straight away with a Planet Seeker here for Rafe Beckett. All runs have been over 6. He's been my tracker, screaming for 7. And Spencer is booked, so he's getting out of bed for a ride. And that was my selection in this. Start with Jace this time.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's open to any amount of improvement. Low mileage improver. We got a batch of 7 3-year-olds taking on the older brigade, haven't we? So they get the weight for age allowance in the lineup. I thought, and I'll throw her in there, Havana Pusey, who ran for the Gallagher team. Now, she won at Yarmouth early on this season, finished a real good 3rd to Royal Velvet in the Chartwell down the hill at Lingfield, and then was probably close to favouritism up at Musselburgh, got really upset in the gates, stumbled coming out, was left alone back of the pack. I thought she was out there around about 10, 12 to 1. She'd give you a run for your money at an each way sort of price. So one for the older brigade, if you like, for me.
She's solid, Havana Pussy, isn't she? But Pussy, sorry. She stumbled out the gates. You were on course yesterday. A few horses boiled over at Newmarket yesterday. This filly has got the potential to boil over in the hot weather. So that would be my only negative with her. Very boringly, I'm going to go for the favourite, True Test for William Knight. She won over course and distance last July, and she ran to a mark of 90 when she was 2nd at Newbury last year. The trainer got a little bit carried away. She was only beaten ahead on fast ground in the Jumeirah Guineas, and then he threw her in the big time, didn't he, in some good races. She ran okay in the Sandringham last time. She's back down in grade. I think off a mark of 90, she's where she should be, and I think she's the horse they got to beat, and she loves this quick round.
Right, we're going over a mile with lots of Britannia form in here. 252. Weather is handicap. I like Wishard in this one. Bavarian and Ryan Moore, eye-catching jockey booking was 2nd or 7th rather in the Britannia. Stopped in his run 2 out, stayed on well. And Moonfall is up £7 from the Ascot win. So I like Wishard in this one. Martin, what are you thinking?
Very boring. I think Moonfall wins again. £7 rise for that win at Ascot, but didn't he win well? And he's up to 97. To me, he looked like a group horse in a handicap. And you know what is very important on this July course is tractability. And this horse, you can ride him anyway. He sat right on the pace at Ascot and just kept kicking away. It's a jockey's dream when you got a horse you can ride prominently on the July course at Newmarket on fast ground. So I can't see Wishard turning the form round. 3 lengths to find on that Britannia. Bit better off at the weights. But for me, Moonfall looks like a group horse.
Yeah, and Zach Lloyd, who made such a big impression, he was on board him, wasn't he? Because he had a fairly lightish weight for Billy to do anyway. So Billy gets back up on board. I mean, lots of improvers, aren't there? Alfaraz, Eckleem down the bottom. Alfaraz lightly pacing here. He made all and rallied really well to win over course and distance. I'll take a flyer here. Iron Lily, as its first run for the Crisford team, was trained over in Ireland by the Harrington squad, bumped into and ran close behind the Secret Advisory, who we know has gone on and won at the Royal Meeting. Major disappointment, ran no sort of race last time, but came back, scoped badly, so all the pipes weren't good, wasn't breathing. And it's interesting, same ownership, but switched across to the Crisford stable that continue in really good form. I just think that they obviously thought he was a group horse prior to a major disappointment last time. So handicap company, and he might sneak into an each way price.
325, Bunbury Cup over 7 furlongs. Alto, top of the market, 3 to 1 currently, time of recording. Ian Williams, Billy Buick. Jace, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, this is interesting, isn't it? Now, Ryan, over the last couple of weeks, he hasn't done any lighter than 8.13. Now, if Aidan had one in that had a fairly light weight, he would get down to ride it. Did he not want to ride him, Martin, do you think, at 8 stone 10? And so has given it to Buick, but he gets on the stablemate, Supedo, in the lineup. They were both eye catchers last time. Supedo, I remember him setting off and running really well at 100 to 1 at Ascot in a big contest. You got your old favourites. Elarak will be there to be shot at and Great Acclaim. They were all in the Buckingham Palace, so it's a Royal Ascot form. I watched back a few times Supedo's run and he has to be on the radar. I think he'll run well at a bit of a price for Ian Williams. And Alto, I know he's got the form in the book, won it in 2024, second to More Thunder. That's obviously good, and he's well handicapped. But I'll go the outsider of the two for Ian Williams.
Yeah, Ian Williams holds a strong hand, that's for sure. If I had to guess, I'd say Ryan Moore on a hot weekend like this with a big rise. He probably just didn't want to ride at 8 stone 10 in handicaps, because his job is to win the big races, and he's got some big rides. But I'm going to go against you, Jason. I'm going to go with is it Alto? Are we pronouncing that, or Alto? I mean, he's just solid, isn't he? He won this in 2024 off 88. He was beaten the nose last year by More Thunder, who finished second in the Queen Anne last year off 92. He's off a good mark, and he's coming back to form. He was second course and distance last time. He was behind Dark Tornado, wasn't he? And he's gone up £5. He's off a good weight. He's such a shrewd trainer, Ian Williams. And when he links up with Buick, they've got a really good strike rate together. I just think he's very solid. He likes this course, and he knows how to win this race. So I'm going to stick with him.
And it's such a good contest, isn't it? Like, loads of people have been back in black on loads of occasions, and he keeps just finding one or two too good. Maybe 7 furlongs is ideal for him. I'll throw one in there at a massive price because it was an early closer. The weights are a little bit different, but Witch Hunter, he ran a similar sort of race as Supido on the all-weather last time. He's out there at 40, 50 to 1, something like that. He's just one who might sneak into a place at stupid odds.
Yeah, I've put him up many times with Spencer on. Rolls of Beale is 1 for money at overnight, 2 from 2 July course. Won last Saturday, was 20th in the Woker and was beaten 8, 9, 10 lengths, something like that, but hung left. And Connor Wheatley takes off the 5. So that was my little eye catcher. And the money's come overnight. Rolls of Beale, the course form there. I've heard this pronounced as the superlactative many times. The 4 o'clock, the superlative stakes, Group 2. So that's what happens when you set the saunas away, isn't it? It's all the super laxatives. 7 furlongs. I mean, Abraham Lincoln, costs what? 2.3 mil as a yearling? We going there, Jace?
Well, look, I mean, he was super impressive. Obviously, it's going to be a pointer when we see Hafner earlier on. I tell you what, on the figures on what they've achieved so far, and I know that he's going up in trip, but the course and distance win for Al Hudayba was really, really impressive. All right, I know it was a small race, but he won on the bridle. I think that was the way they were riding him as well, because I was also at Yarmouth when he swerved and unshipped Tom Marquand. Just for no reason, he just veered across the track. It is the first time that Buick gets up on board. I doubt that they'll be giving him the kid glove treatment, just keeping him nice and quiet all the way down to post. Handler down there, they'll put him in the gates. He'll be held up and held onto. I suppose he's just going to drop in and try and follow Abraham Lincoln through. That would be the way to ride him. So I think on the figures, Abraham's got to step up.
Martin?
It looks like a simple shootout, doesn't it, between the two superpowers, Coolmore and Godolphin. Charlie Appleby coming back to form. A couple of winners yesterday, of course, Rebels, Romance. Al Hubeda, he's obviously got a lot of class, but I was concerned. Were you at Yarmouth when he swerved, Jason? You were there that day. And when horses do that, they often do it again. I've ridden a few. I've had a couple have done that, and you can't stop them doing it. It was very worrying. And I know he won last time. Zach Lloyd rode him. He got right on that stands rail. He had a horse beside him, and he was a little bit wary, and he just did enough to win. But it's a bit of a kink, and I wouldn't trust him to not do it again. I think Abraham Lincoln, the way he hit the line strong over 6 furlongs, he's got to get better going up to 7 furlongs. And when his stablemate wins the first, when Hafner wins the first to frank that form, I would side with Abraham Lincoln. I think he's got a lot of class, better over a bit further, and I just worry about Al Hubeda. I think William Buick will be a little bit worried too, because when horses swerve like that, you cannot stay on them, and once they've done it once, they quite often do it again.
Yeah, I could totally agree. I mean, I put down here, should be 3 from 3. Watched it that day. That horse would have won, no problem whatsoever. And Tom was getting pelts on Twitter, and you're like, I'm sorry, you swerve in a car, you're in the passenger seat, and you've gone. But I totally agree with you boys there.
Well, do you know what, Joel? I missed the Breeders' Cup winner when that happened to me. I was riding a horse that went clear to win a race at Leicester on firm ground, and it swerved from underneath me. I broke 2 arms, Mr. Breeders' Cup winner, and that filly kept on doing it, and she broke a lad's leg at home, and they had to retire her. She wouldn't get out of the habit, and they swear from underneath you just cannot sit on them. So it's a worrying trait. I hope I'm wrong, but he could be capable of doing it again.
And not going down a comedy cul-de-sac, but you were probably back from that injury quicker than you were. Do you remember when you broke your fingernail or whatever it was? It was the longest. What you are about 6 months or something? You broke a fingernail.
Badly bruised.
Badly bruised. You're like 6 months. 4:35. The Albasti Equine Dubai July Cup, to give its full name. Group 1, 6 furlongs, 3 years and older. Winner over 450k. We'll start you, Martin.
I mean, what a smash up. This is what a great race. We've got how many horses coming back from Royal Ascot? Venetian Sun, can she be the first 3-year-old filly to win this race since 1983? I think it's Habitie for John Dunlop. It's a very hard race for 3-year-olds to win. She has progressed so much since running the Guineas. She won the Sandy Lane, won the Commonwealth Cup. It was a little bit of a slower time than at the other races, and she's taken on the older horses. I've just got a feeling Satano Reeve might just turn the form around with Almerac, the Japanese horse. He's such a solid, classy horse, Satano Reeve. He's a Group 1 winner in Japan. Christophe Lemaire flies over to get back on him. He won a Group 1 on him, and he was 4.5 lengths second to probably the best sprinter in the world at the moment, Kai Ying Rising in Hong Kong. There's not much between a few of these ahead of the market, but I've just got a feeling Satano Reeve might just... I think it might come good tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'll rubber stamp that. The fact that Christoph's only ridden him once, and that was a Group 1 win. Almerac, now, there's no doubting he's the low mileage improver, and I know it was only a nose. These are not his conditions. He got away with the ground at Ascot. And you just wait till the back end of the year, or as we work our way into the season, when he gets a little bit of dig in the ground. As as the July course, he's still got that dip they run down where they're at that quickest part of the race. And they had the horse yesterday, didn't they? Was it Thunder Call? Trying to remember. He was favourite for one of the sprints, and he got lost and then just sort of stayed on at the death. So I'm worried with the ground with Almerac. Satono Rev, Christophe flying in, like you said, is a big, big positive. Cannot be quick enough for the Japanese.
Yeah,
Christophe Lemaire is like the Jason Weaver of old. He doesn't get out of bed unless he's paid enough money. He wouldn't be flying over here unless he could win. Christophe is the global jockey. He's got
his own clothing brand, hasn't he? Over in Japan. But you know what it's like, Martin. When you retired, you put on a pound or two. It's no good going into the shop and saying, "Can I have a pair of 36.29s?" They go, "We don't sell them, sir."
Oh, that's been the toughest thing since I retired. Trying to buy clothes. You try to go shopping for a fat midget.
Love it. All right, that's Newmarket all wrapped up. Go across to Ascot. It doesn't get a lot easier here. The Ascot Heritage Handicap Stakes over 5 furlongs. It's 7-1 the field. King of Light, Stuart Williams and Henry Vigas, which we prefer, taking off a 5. It's wide open, this. Any boys got any opinions, Jace?
We're on the 155 at Ascot, aren't we? Yeah. Look, I thought Dubai Bling has been really unlucky since coming back from a win over in Bahrain. Unlucky at Chester, got a little bit out of his ground and then flew home. And then he didn't get much of a run in the Wokingham. Watch that back. He was sort of stuck in behind runners. I'm a big fan of David Probert. Martin will know more about this than me. He's come back from Hong Kong. He's already had 30 or so winners on the board. And surprisingly, it doesn't look like he's been taken back into the fold at the Balding Academy. He seems to be riding for everybody else at the moment, but he's a brilliant rider. And I think that he'll get a good tune out of him. There's loads in here, isn't there? I mean, Toca Madeira, talk about getting a whop off the handicapper, up £11 for winning at Doncaster. You know, that's really, really harsh in the sprinting division, and plenty coming in form. But Dubai.
Martin?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kind of Light. I was really impressed with his win at Windsor last time. Typical Stuart Williams, improving sprinter. I just like him. He's a 4-year-old hitting his peak 3 runs this year. He was second in a Class 2 at Goodwood. He was a close 5th in the dash, staying on. And he won so well at Windsor. And that was a really competitive race. And he won easily. He's off a mark of 99. I think he's just hitting his peak. And it's a hard race, this, for the 3-year-olds to win. I'm against Havana Hurricane. I think he's favourite. I would take him on. I think he's vulnerable. He's trying to find his level, this horse, after his Windsor Castle win last year. I think he's still a little bit high. I think King of Light is really on an upward curve.
227, Summer Mile Stakes, Group 2. More Thunder, top of the market, 6-4 for Kieran Fallon and William Haggis. Does his horse go and win?
He should do on paper, because it's a rerun of the Queen Anne, isn't it? You got the first, the second, the fourth. Zeus Olympius was 4th, and Docklands ran below par last time. He was 7th in the Queen Anne. More Thunder should be winning, but the difference is this race is run on the round track, the round mile. It can get a bit more complicated. More Thunder's drawn in stall 1. He should be winning, but it's, as Jason will tell you, that round mile can be complicated. You can drop in, sit in 2nd or 3rd behind the leaders, and then you can be stuck there for the whole race, never get out. There are only, 8 runners, but it still can be a tricky race when you're on the round. But More Thunder, he should just be winning.
Yeah, and the thing with him, he's been super consistent, hasn't he? Fallon's in great form, even though he got a 4-day ban for running Connor Planis off the track after they went over the line at Doncaster. So he's certainly got a bit of fire in his belly. Apple hasn't fallen very far from the tree, has it? And he gave it to Connor the other day. Listen, Zeus Olympios probably going to make the run-in. I think the way that he keeps on staying on, it hasn't happened for him. He looked like the next superstar, didn't he, when he finished last season? Seagull's 11. His form ties in with the French runner No Lunch. And the others are old, like Holloway Boy and Docklands. They're real old favourites. More Thunder, Fallon, Haggis will rely on that combo.
Right, Ascot done. Over to York, up in North Yorkshire. What are your thoughts on York, by the way, is it a track? Because I'm from Scarborough, which is like 40 minutes away from there. And it used to be on my local track, and I love it. But I always find it so hard to get winners. York and Beverley were 2 tracks that I love going to, but I just cannot get winners there, Martin. Did you like?
You want to try and ride it. I mean, it's one of them places where, I don't know whether Jason will agree, there's no hiding place. You have to be on the best horse, or one of the best horses. I don't think I've ever ridden a winner at York and think I've got away with that, like you might on a sharp track like Chester or somewhere, where you think I got the run of the race. There's no hiding place. It's a long straight. You get taken on early. Races there can turn into a real war of attrition. It's a top level track. You need top horses to win there.
And Fallon, we're talking about him. Kieran used to be so good there. I don't know if it was the way that he rode, that he just would get them rolling. You know, like he used to ride so many winners at Pontefract, and he always used to say it's like riding a push bike up a hill. You can't expect to just freewheel into it and then start pedaling and expect to quicken up. He got horses motivated underneath him, and he was brilliant there. I never really found the key to York at all. I was only okay if they went round on the bridle.
239 York, John Smith's Racing Handicap, over a mile. Again, pretty wide open. Any thoughts here, Jace?
Well, it's funny, a little line in here. Mr. Swivel is named after the late trainer Dave Morris, who used to work for Sir Henry Cecil, because when he was riding Work, he was forever looking round to see what else was working well. So they nicknamed him after the late Dave, so God bless him. I think right down the bottom, there's a horse in here called New Image, who looks dangerously well handicapped for the O'Mara team. He's on a mark of 86. Mason Paytel takes off another £5. He's got a good draw, and I think over the mile here, just getting a perfect toe into the race is absolutely ideal. I'm pretty sure a few seasons ago he won a Shergar Cup, and then he had a little bit of time in the wilderness, but he appears to be a decent runner. O'Mara also runs one who's bound to be shorter in the market, Curly and Bay at the top after a big effort in the Hunt Cup.
Martin?
Yeah, I would agree with that, Jason. Curly on Bay, I think, will win. You spoke about Kieran Fallon riding York. He was brilliant. Danny Tudhope, the man on board Curly and Bay, super jockey. So cool. Tactically, so aware, and he's aware of what pace to go, and he's a brilliant judge of a race. And Curleon Bay is really improving. He's drawn 9, which isn't ideal on the round mile at York, but with Danny in the saddle, this horse normally drops into mid-division and comes along late, and I think he'll time it well. He ran really well course and distance when he was second in May, and he wasn't beaten far at all in the Royal Hunt Cup. I think this race will really suit him, so I think he is going to be hard to beat. And David O'Meara is just a master with these sort of older handicappers. He's only a 5-year-old, but he just gets so much out of them, doesn't he, and keeps doing it.
312 is the John Smith City Wall Stakes over 5 furlongs. I thought I'd got one in here and no one had noticed. It's now favourite with Betfred this morning at 11-2. American Affair for Jim Goldie and Paul Mulrennan is the money horse. Last of 26 in the King Charles III Stakes at Royal Ascot. Before that, I was there the day at Haydock when he was a length second to Knight Raider at the Temple Stakes. I thought, hey, we're getting a price on this one. Favourite now, American Affair. Martin?
Well, I guess it's because he's dropped in grade, isn't he? Obviously, a Group 1 winner last year. He won the King Charles, but I don't know. He's just a bit in and out. He was a bit key in his first run of the year. He ran really well in the Temple Stakes on softer ground. But how can you explain him finishing 26 of 26 at Ascot last time? I know he hasn't got a penalty, dropped in grade, but I don't know. I just can't. I want to see a sprinter in form. He's got to find about 25 lengths on that Ascot run. I know it's a lower grade, but you find with these sprinters, there's not much between the top handicappers and the Group 1s. I'm against American Affair. If I'm wrong, Jim Goldie, legend of a trainer, but how can he finish that far back and go and win next time? And with Washington Heights, he's an out-and-out front runner, won this race last year. He comes good this time of year. He won really well at Carlisle last time. Tommy is on board. And Haydock on fast ground, it's like a bowling green. He'll get away on the front end. He's going to be hard to beat. I'm with Washington Heights.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. Washington Heights will be zipping along. Dickensian for Kevin Ryan will be coming from the back of the pack, or trying to anyway. So they've got sort of the bases covered. I listened to James Owen yesterday talking about Aspect Island. He was placed in a Breeders' Cup juvenile sprint. Feels that he's got him in the right spot, but he ran back-to-back at the Royal Meeting in red hot company. Now, American Affair, you touched on him. When he was really keen at Ascot, he nearly ran like he went lame or something was amiss, because I mean he walked over the line, didn't he? Yeah. So it'd be an amazing job if they do manage to get him back. Good luck with him. I wanted to lean that way, but I'm shied away from him. I think Red Orange was ridden completely wrong last time up at behind Washington Heights. I think they went forward with him 3 runs ago. Can you remember when he finished on the bridle with Ryan on board at York? He then went to Windsor, won on the bridle. I think they'll drop him in again, and that'll be key. There's no man like Clive Cox to get the sprinters back going. I know he's got to turn the form around, but hopefully they just hold on to him a little bit better. And looking at the pace of the race, there's plenty drawn high. Nana's Shadow, Revival Power, they're all pretty close. He's going to get a nice toe in.
2 more to go at York, and then we're done best bets as well. Next up is the John Smith's Cup. Now, the ladies normally get their weight in champagne, don't they? And it's how much do you weigh? And they say, 7 stone 3. No, 14 stone. If you won this, would you get your weight in John Smith's, and would you drink it all? I mean, I don't think I've ever had a pint at John Smith's. It just says old man to me. Speaking I think
it's the longest running sponsorship in racing. This has been going for so long, and a massive amount of money on offer as well, isn't it? You know, some real good horses. I mean, Yab here for Haggis has been put up £12 for winning at Goodwood. Warrant Holder, he put up a good performance in the Duke of Edinburgh, and you go down through it. I mean, I will have like the race earlier on when I found one, Witch Hunter, at a huge price. I'll have £1 each way on Old Toon Loon. He was a massive gamble in this last year. Fell out the gates, never went astride, and finished just about last, but he's much better than that. For the win purposes, Hand of God. Year in the Wilderness. He was a Royal Ascot winner in 2024. Nothing last year. Thought that was a good win at Newbury from him. And he was down to run at Epsom. Didn't go because the ground had gone soft. He's back under quick conditions, and he's drawn on the paint. he'll do for me. Hand of God. I like the rider as well. Lewis Edmonds, one of those, very quiet, sits in the corner of the weighing room, doesn't say anything, never blows his own trumpet. He's a very, very good rider.
Just like Martin, he's sitting there in the corner with his book, wouldn't say boo to a goose, get up, ride his race, come back in, thank the valet, and drive off, always with a smile on his face. Isn't that right, Martin?
Yeah, absolutely, unless they're being on a night out with you. But we won't say any more about that. I think you missed work that day, didn't you?
I think you missed your disciplinaries, didn't you, as well?
Yeah. We'll talk about that.
I've got time for this. Move on.
Right, I'm looking forward to this. I've been waiting for this horse to run for quite some time. Danger Bay for Ed Bethel. I love this horse. I was working twice last year when he won at Hamilton. He's run 6 times. He's won 3 of them. I think he's a really smart horse. I know Ed does as well. He was disappointing favourite at York on his last run as a 3-year-old, but he picked up a slight injury after that. He's had 1 run this year, and he won the Redcar Gold Zetland Cup. And he won it with plenty in hand. First run for a while. Ed has missed Ascot to come here, and he comes here a fresh horse. I think he's a group horse. I think this horse is really going to develop. He's around 7 to 1. I can't wait to watch this horse run. I've been waiting for him to run again. I like him a lot.
All right, 4:55 final race, the Silver Cup, Group 3, 1 mile 6. My Cliff horse is in this race. Table Talk. I love Tom Clover. I love Ross Orion, but this horse will just keep letting me down and letting me down. Do I back this horse tomorrow, Jace?
He's going to be on the premises, isn't he? There's him, Epic Poet, Mount Atlas. They've all been locking horns recently, haven't they? Epic Poet's interesting. Ryan rode him last time and he never went a yard. Danny gets back on board and he obviously gets a really, really good tune out of him. I thought Mount Atlas was a little bit keen. It was only a smallish field last time. He was caught out on the wing, and he was the one who was really sort of powering through the line late on. So that was when we saw the return to form of Gregory. It's red hot form. PJ McDonald has got a ridiculous strike rate when he teams up with the Balding team. So Mount Atlas, he was beaten favourite last time. I think he's going to come out on top. There won't be much between them. He's just going to edge out the Cliff horse. Table Talk.
Martin.
I think this is a race to avoid like the plague. It's one to watch and see what happens. It's going to be a messy race. 1 mile 6, no pace on paper, no front runners. There's nothing between Mount Atlas and Table Talk. There was only neck between them 28 days ago. Mount Atlas could develop into a decent stayer, but he does himself no favours by pulling hard, which is what Jason said. And they're going to walk around, no pace. Epic Poet needs pace to chase. He's got a bit of a turn of foot. It's one to watch and not get involved with, but if I was forced to choose one, I'd go with Arabian Force for William Haggis. He was no match for Kalpana and Westwind last time over 1.5 miles at Newbury, but he was a good third over 1 mile 6 at Ascot the end of last season, and he was second in a listed race. He does relax, and he's got a bit of a turn of foot, so he would be my selection, but it's tentative because anything could happen in this race. 1 mile 6, no front runners, a couple of them are key, and it could be a messy affair.
Right, there's your 12 live races, all on ITV4 tomorrow. And, of course, the World Cup continues, England versus Norway. We'll touch on that before we go. So Betfred gives you £20 a piece. Where are you going with your best bet this weekend, Jace?
I think that Satono Rev, Lemaire coming across to, when you're relying on consistent class performers and the quicker ground conditions are clearly going to suit him, and the market has it open. I think there's probably 2 or 3 that are sort of sharing or vying for favoritism, if you like. He'd be the cornerstone of many an accumulator. Not far behind him, Dubai Bling has to go well. So sprinters to the fore on a busy afternoon. But Satono Rev would be the one.
Martin?
Well, what did he say? Great minds think alike, or fools seldom differ. And with Jason, with Satono Rev, I think he'll win. I think he'll turn it around on this quicker track at Newmarket. But Danger Bay in the 3:45 at York. I've just been waiting for this horse to run, and I think Ed Bethel missed Ascot on purpose. A lot of these horses running over Saturday are backing up from Ascot, and you're going to get some mixed results because some can take it, some can't, especially in this hot weather. And I just like the way Ed's kept his powder dry with Danger Bay. I think he's going to progress into a really smart group horse. I expect him to win the 3:45 at York.
Thanks, boys. Chase, you working Newmarket tomorrow?
I am, yeah, I am.
Yeah. And Martin?
Sun cream.
Yeah, Martin, you're at Chester tomorrow, yeah?
I'm at Chester for 2 days. Friday tomorrow, tonight, and then tomorrow at Chester all day. Franny Norton is the DJ for the after party at Chester, so there'll be a lot of Agadoo playing. He's going to be possibly the second worst disc jockey in the country. Sorry.
Behind two. Right. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Matt will be back next week. Just before we go, is it coming home? Let's go to our Welsh correspondent, Jason Weaver.
Yeah, look, I'm a taffy, but I've had to jump tack, haven't I? And getting up the other night, my youngest is home from Florida, so we all got up to watch the match the other day. What a brilliant effort. One thing I will say about the World Cup, and I don't know if you agree with me, lads, we often talk about the heads of whoever is running one of the biggest sporting establishments, and it makes racing look really good with the way the officiating has gone on over in the States. I think that, when the referee starts to become one of the main talking points time and time again, it's an absolute shocker. Those have been the main talking points, haven't they? Let's hope they can score. Haaland's bound to score, though, isn't he? Yeah. So listen, I love my goals galore on a weekend. Get that slip out. It's got to be goals galore, hasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So we've got a couple of injuries as well, haven't we? We've got that red card, which didn't get overturned. But if you're American, you get it overturned. Martin, now, most Scousers, now worked in Liverpool for a couple of years. You're not English, you're Scouse. Where are you an England fan? I was watching you on Newbury last night at Racing TV, dying to get home after surviving the student inquiry in the last race for the France-Morocco game.
Yeah, I was looking forward to. I listened to it on the radio. Listen, I'm born and bred in the Republic of Liverpool, but of course I'm an England fan. I went to Dallas for the first game. What an experience that was when we beat Croatia. It was a brilliant stadium, air-conditioned. It was lovely. And we seem to be getting stronger as the competition goes on, and that's what you need. So big challenge this weekend, taking on Norway, but they're a one-man team, aren't they? They've only got the striking Viking. The rest of them, I think we can take them.
Yeah, it's Everton all over again, isn't it? Right then, boys, have a brilliant weekend. Be lucky, and we'll catch you soon. Make sure you do like and subscribe, and that'll be it next week. Good luck with whatever you're betting this weekend.